All right, welcome to another segment with Dave and myself. Today you're going to be high tech. We are going to show you how to make the bucket. Okay, now, for those of you who are challenged with this kind of stuff, okay, we're going to try to make this as simple as possible. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. Okay.
So reference what video are we referring to? The Anti-nano device.
Anti-nano device, right? Yeah. Anti-nano bucket. We're going to make here an anti-nano bucket. Now, this is what yours is going to look like. Now, when you guys get good, you're going to advance. You got a 3-coil, and I'll show you that too, how that was done, how that evolved. So we're going to get an old 5-gallon bucket, okay? So just showing you what it's going to look like. Nothing inside, just wires and everything else, okay? I'm going to put this down here so I don't trip over the wire. Should be falling all over the place. Now, this is nothing special. This is just a magical bucket. Okay? Bucket. That's all it is. Bucket. You know, I did forget one thing. I forgot scissors, but I'm going to see if we can do it with a knife. Now, what you're going to do is take some tape for simplistic purposes, okay? And you don't have to do this. You can just go with the coil if you want and just coil it. But again, for some of you, because this thing will come undone when you use the wire. Now I'm using a 12 gauge wire. You can use 10 gauge, you can use 14 gauge, you can use whatever gauge you want, it doesn't matter. We tested this thing out with resistance and there's basically almost 0 resistance, so it doesn't matter which one you go to. So basically just start it off, you know. Now Dave is going to play the challenged person. He's going to ask questions hopefully that you would ask. So I don't have to spend 99 hours on YouTube.
Well, here's the first one then.
Trying to find your result. That's another thing before we go on. If you are sending me questions under YouTube and I can't, and I don't respond, it's not that I'm not responding. I don't know where your responses are. YouTube is putting them all over the place, so I have no clue where they are. So if I can't find what's in the first 3 pages, then look at the very top of the page and I will put your name in the dialog box and I'll try to answer you there, because sometimes I just can't find your responses. We've got so many of them now, they're just putting them in everywhere nowadays. So
it's not to be rude or anything like that.
No,
not that you don't want to communicate.
Yeah. Or just send me an email. You know, the email's on there somewhere, independence@yahoo.com or augment_enforce@yahoo.ca. Send me an email then if you need a help with something. It's not that I don't want to help you. Sometimes, you know, I just can't find you.
So you're doing.
This,
you're doing sticky side out.
Sticky side out.
So that the coil
wire will stick to it.
Right. And what are you? Well, I know what gauges of wire are, but just if people haven't heard.
Basically, it's just the thickness of the wire. Yeah. Okay, 10 gauge will allow more electrons to go through than a 14 gauge and a 12. 12 gauge will allow more electrons than a 14 gauge, and so on. So the thicker the wire, the more energy will flow through it. But again, the thicker the wire, the harder it is to work with. So the 12 gauge is pretty easy to work with. 14 is easier. 10 gauge gets to be a little bit of a challenge because the wire, it doesn't have the flexibility.
One thing with the gauge is that it's almost counterintuitive. The lower the number, the thicker it is.
Right, exactly.
So if you're saying 14, it means that it's...
Yeah. As you can see, I'm covering up the Canadian Tire.
Well, I'll take the opportunity to record these.
These are people that are in the fight to save your lives. You know, these are not conspirator people, not people that are affluential or have a political interest in politics. They, like me, are concerned about the planet. And they, like me, are concerned about what's going on in the planet. From geoengineering, which is using nano technology. I'm going to explain that a little bit too. Who are trying to keep us alive, because when nanotechnology is released into the atmosphere, it alters everything. DNA, genetics, life, mammalian life, avian life, insect life, reptilian life, everything. And it doesn't, it's not a benefit. If anything, anything it does, it touches, it alters. Some of you have this condition that is, in my opinion, mislabeled badly, called Morgellons. What you have is nanopoisoning. A lot of you have been told you have Lyme. You don't have Lyme, you have nanopoisoning. A lot of you have been told you have mold. You don't have mold, you have nanopoisoning. And even in the dental, going to a dentist, getting your mercury fillings taken out, they're putting nanotechnology in. That white stuff that they're putting in there is all nanotech, which is one of the most super highly conductive materials on the planet. It's using graphene. Graphene is pretty mean. See, I can make it rhyme too.
Yeah, you're a poet, you didn't know it.
I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Jeez. Now, I'm going to bring my scissors, so we're going to have to compromise magic knife. Now, I probably should have brought scissors, because some of you are going to think that having a magic knife is a prerequisite. It's not a prerequisite, it's just, I got my scissors. Now, I'm going to go to the end here. Okay, that little bit isn't going to matter. Okay, so you see, sticky side out. Done. I won't do it. It's a magic knife, won't stick.
It's magic, that's why.
It's magically delicious. Okay. The and what we're going to do is we're going to cut some tape here. If I can do it here. Oh wow, that worked. I'm impressed.
that tape's very good for ripping.
Basically, rip off a bunch of pieces. And the reason why you're ripping off a bunch of pieces is because as you get coiling, you may want to stop, or something happens, you can put a piece of tape to keep it from moving. Okay. Now I'm trying to think of everything that you could ask. I'm sure I'm going to miss something.
Oh, so far so good.
So, you know. But basically, this is just rudimentary, fundamental. Now back to nanotechnology and chemtrails. When chemtrails touch the ground, okay, especially in the food supply, you do not have organics. Organics is such a pile of rubbish today. What's happening in the field today is you have smart dust that they use to regulate the fields, which is incorporating with this technology. So you have a self-assembling technology. And how this works with the self-assembling is that it uses carbon. And we're talking about carbon nanoparticles. If you go on my site, this is a new site, I'm putting the illustration stuff on there. It's at independence.wix.com, carbon-nano, okay? This is what you'll see. Okay, this is what you're all being exposed to. This is in your food supply. This is in all your organics, all your non-organics. It makes no difference. Animals are consuming this. You're consuming this. Okay, you are also exposed to high levels of this carbon. It is rewriting your DNA. When I did a show, I told people on the show, go into a grocery store and take a look at how much of your food supply is carbon. When you go in, carbon are carbohydrates. When you go in, the first thing you see is the produce section. It's a carbon. You go to the next section, the next aisle, and say you got a bread aisle. That's all carbon. Pastries and whatnot. You go to the next aisle with the potato chips and the junk food and the snacks. That's all carbon. You go to the next aisle with all the canned, potatoes and the canned corn and the canned beans. It's all carbon. Okay? And then you have one section where it's non-carbon, protein. That's your dairy, your eggs, and your meat. But if you look at the store, one section is non-carbon, the other section is carbon. And don't get caught up on this, it's all carbon-based. It's not all carbon-based. It's been a big, huge lie in this determination. It's not scientific what they've given us, saying that we are a carbon life form. We are not a carbon life form. We have carbon in us, yes, but we have protein bonds that bind us and keep us intact. It's the protein that keeps us. That's the difference. But because they have been feeding us genetically engineered carbon, corn, wheat, soy, and all this other crap, what's happening is your body is mutating, or it has mutated. So as a result, now you're having issues in regard to sugars and stuff that you shouldn't have. Fungus is growing crazy, mold is growing crazy, algae is growing crazy, bacteria is growing crazy, and then you get into a state of you start to go into being alkaline, and then what you wind up getting is a state of alkalosis. So then you're opening yourself up to microbes and viruses and parasites. So be aware that not everything you're hearing is accurate. Okay, good. All right, now, this is the wire. This is a 12 gauge. I'm going to put this on the floor for me to work with. So what I do, okay, you're going to extend about 2 feet out or more. It's up to you. The further away you are from the bucket, the better I would like it. This way you guys don't kill yourselves, because like I said, some of you have a issue with being awake. I have an issue with being awake sometimes. So anyway, what I do is I will start it. Okay. Start the wire, start the coil. Now I'll put this up here, in here, and tape it. Now you're asking, why am I doing that? Because I'm going to be spinning this bucket. And I don't want that extra wire floating around, you know, hitting me in the head or getting in my way, and then I start swearing in several different languages, and then you guys will say, you shouldn't swear like that. Anyway. Because you will, some of you might swear, and that's okay, I do it all the time. You know, because sometimes things happen. Alright, so then what I do is I try to line this first one up as much as I can to the edge. Okay. And then start.
That probably would be pretty tricky without that tape.
What I do is I'll put, if you don't do the tape, what you do is you take a piece and tape it on 2 sides, just hold it so while you get it started. I mean, you could do it either way. I did it this way because, like I said, some of you might have a problem, and so we're just, again, making it as simple as we can make it for you. Again, it's an extra step, but it's for some of you it's going to be, you know, good enough. Now, you can get a turnstile of your own. You can make it, as you can see. Look at this. I'm just following the last line, and see how nice and even it's coming. Okay, and just keep on. See, now that I just said that, it just decided to grip on me. This is why I said the swearing might start.
It's good for you.
Yeah, get it. See, us Mediterraneans, we don't hold back. We and it's out, and we have no heart attack, no nothing like that. And the rest of you guys, you know, the non-Mediterraneans, we keep it all in because you think it's permanent property. You die of a heart attack, and you, what happened? You didn't let it out. See.
I'm gonna stop it for a sec because something happened with my color here.
All
right.
We're back at it.
We're back. I fixed the color.
See.
I forgot that it was on what they call auto white balance mode, and it switched on me.
Switched on you.
It went all orange.
Oh, see? I'm going to be Technicolor.
What's that?
I'll be Technicolor.
Yeah. You're a chameleon.
I'm a chameleon. I'm a shape. No, not. I'm a color shifter. I'm a color shifter. I can go into all kinds of colors.
It's all that nano, Tony.
It's all that nano, yeah. Oh yeah, there's some truth to that though. There's some truth to that. If you get a scope and you scope your skin with a 60x or 100x scope, after they've dumped some chemtrail stuff on the air there, you may find that you may have blotches of color on your skin. This is coming from the chemtrails. The wonderful world of chemtrail technology, nanotechnology. See, the thing about carbon and about this technology, okay, when you do the research on nanotechnology, you'll find that it's a self-assembling, self-replicating, and self-repairing technology. This acts almost like a cell or a bacterium. Now, when they use the nanotechnology, they're using a DNA from viruses and bacterium. This is what they're using to create the self-assembling technology here. Now, what has that got to do with chemtrails?
Sorry.
Okay. I don't want tripping over things over there. What's that got to do with nanotechnology? Nanotechnology, because it's using a carbon, and we were talking about that before, you go to the store and you are consuming high levels of carbon. It binds to carbon and uses carbon. I just throw it anyway. Yeah. It binds to carbon and feeds on it and uses it in its assembling process. So what's that got to do with the sky? Well, the sky is loaded with carbon gas or greenhouse gases, which are coming from carbon. Now, you vegans are part of the problem. You vegans are part of the problem. In fact, they're saying that the vegans, the human footprint on the greenhouse gases isn't because of what we're doing. Now, there's some idiot out there who's screaming about methane and all this stuff, and he's blaming the human race. This guy's a goof. He's got it right on the methane, because methane is a form of carbon. That's what methane is. It's a type of carbon. And it's exponentially growing up above us because of the fact that we are killing off all the green down here on the earth. We're cutting down trees exponentially, and that is what absorbs most of the carbon on the planet. And then there's the vegetation also that absorbs the carbon on the planet, and that's being utilized as a food supply. So when you're using the bulk of the earth and then we're stripping it down of things that absorb carbon, this is one of the reasons why we have the greenhouse gases. Okay, it has nothing to do with the human footprint in regard to what we're doing as far as pollution goes. That's a big, big, big lie, huge lie. Okay, so when you got somebody making a claim about one thing and then he's alienating the human race and he's blaming man for this problem, I get so sick of hearing that crap, don't you? The man did this, man did that. We didn't do jack shit. The political leaders did it, the bankers did it, the industrial globalists did this. We didn't. We didn't consent. See that? We didn't consent. Did you consent to have your skies polluted? Did you consent to have your food genetically engineered? Did you consent to synthetic biology being indoctrinated into your body? No, we didn't consent. But I will say this: if you sit on your butt, I said this before, and you say nothing, do nothing, then you are consenting. See, I just, before you might have been ignorant to that fact. Now that I've told you the fact, you're no longer ignorant, and now you are obligated to do something. Okay? And if you're not going to do something, then you are part of the problem. Then you would be part of the problem because you're not willing to do something to make a change. See, I'm pulling my wire. Those of you who don't know what that is, look it up. As you can see, we're making progress here. I was going to say, do you want to shut the thing off and then we...
Well, I didn't want to interrupt your...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can see it's rocket science.
Yeah, this is rocket science. This is really rocket science. This is so scientific, it's scientific. Well,
you have a way with words.
Yeah, you know what? I'm trying to keep it, scientific. See, this is all, and you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay? I'm showing you that, okay, just be a little patient with it, that's all. That's all you gotta be. Be a little patient with it. And some of you are going to say, oh, hell, I can't waste my time doing this. I'll just buy it. Now, I will sell it to you. But I'm going to tell you, the materials are not cheap. Because I live in Canada. And in Canada, we have this thing called raping the Canadian. See, anything we sell in this country, we have to subsidize to other countries, and then we pay the tax. See, this is what happens. Our governments will sell stuff to the United States and Europe and China, and then what happens is we get jacked up really high because we have to subsidize it because the dollar difference or whatever. And then, speaking of which, our dollar isn't worth a fiddler's part anymore. But so we were at par with the United States, and so all of a sudden now they decided that we were having too much fun, and so they decided to lower our dollar value. So, to show you.
Do you think that they would sell some of this wire like at, what do we have, like the Habitat Restore, some of these...
Wherever you can get it, yeah. I mean, you can get it. And copper's not cheap, period.
No, yeah, for sure.
Copper's not cheap.
I'm just wondering if there's any places that recycle materials like this where it might not be a full spool.
You might be able to. I mean, you're going to figure it out. You need about 1.5 foot per wine. So it's, it
adds up.
Yeah. So I wanted to make a tub with this, and I'm still trying to figure a way to do it economically. Have a big tub where you can lay in it, even if you're sitting in it halfway in a solution of, again, vinegar and salt. And that's what I forgot. Salt, vinegar, and salt.
Well, that's okay. We're going to stop in a second. So basically, you're going to just continue down.
All the way down.
All the way down. All right.
We're turning the bucket on the side. Once you get it on the side, as you can see, it becomes a little easier. 2. Now, let's say you got to go to the washroom. You know, you got to take a pee or whatever. You know, you got to meditate, you know, think deep thoughts. So what you do is you put a piece of tape. So that happens. I know. I think deep thoughts when I meditate. So you put it there. You know, put it there. Boom. See, it's not going to come undone. Okay, this way, you know, or if you stand up, it's not going to come undone because you put the tape as like a stopgap. So let's say, you know, the phone rings, you got somebody coming over, and you know the mailman is, you know, got to drop some big parcel and you got to sign. You can stop what you're doing, keep on going. And like I said, as you can see, it got a little loose on me here, so basically I can just, you know, push it over a little bit, keep pushing it, you know, whatever. Or you can leave it alone. Again, it's not really going to matter. And just basically do it like this.
The field is still going to be...
Yeah, it's not going to make any difference. See, and it just goes.
So you're just leaving the tape then?
Yeah, you just leave the tape. You don't have to take it out. It's not going to make a difference. And you do it this way too, you find that it's a little easier. You can see it's actually becoming more even.
Because your spool down there.
Yeah, spool down there, so it's coming undone. Okay. Showing you how to make the anti-nano, because I've had people down in India. When are you going to make that video? When are you going to make that video? It's Dave's fault. He's making babies.
No.
He's on his 31st baby. No. He's Polish. What do you want? Because he sticks to those old European ways.
Oh, yeah, it's all those herbs.
Yeah, all those herbs, you know.
Yeah.
The sky's still up now. His wife's dead. That's okay. He killed her. 99 babies later. No.
That's it.
He really believed in the concept of keeping it.
After about 5, it just became, you know, the doctors all knew us. It was,
yeah.
I'm gonna do it at home pretty soon because I've seen it so many times.
Oh, the women are gonna love that one. What are you saying? He really believed in the concept of keeping her barefoot and pregnant. So you can see we're old school here. I keep telling everybody down here, you know, men are men and women are excited. Even people don't believe me. I don't know. You know, we're firm believers that God made Adam for Eve and not Steve, and Eve for Adam and not Adam. You know, we're firm believers.
I haven't heard that second part.
No. No.
Oh.
You know, we're for that. You know, you know, we believe in the biology of humanity being, you know, proper there. You know.
Oh, jeez.
But, you know, well, the thing is, you know, the sad thing about all this, you know, I mean, we're making fun and having fun, you know. But unfortunately, in today's society with, again, genetics, atrazine, the atrazine has been used to alter the DNA of the human being. And as a result, we have conditions where we have, you know, same-sex issues going on. And I don't blame these people. I really don't. I blame, again, the industrialists who decided at the expense of the human endocrine system to alter the endocrine system of these people. And I'm a firm believer that the people who have been affected by genetic modification, because this is what that is. So, and what I'm referring to is the homosexuality that's going on. This is a form of genetic modification. The people were not born or made that way per se. They were through genetics and through experimentation with chemistry. If you're eating any rice, if you're eating any form of wheat, doesn't matter. The wheat has been genetically altered 300 times. If you're eating any form of corn, any form of soy, any form of rye, quinoa, anything today that is grain related, you are having your DNA altered. And when you're thinking of the concepts of glyphosates do not come out of your body very easily. They're very powerful antibacteriums. Okay, all this yogurt a lot of you are eating, and you're seeing that a lot of it is still not having the desired effect, is because the glyphosate embeds itself in the colon, in the stomach,
and it doesn't come out until you flush it out. And one of the ways to flush it out is like the STS commercial, STS video we did, commercial, something like a commercial sometimes, that we showed you. Combining phosphorus with minerals, okay? Using salt. Salt, you know, sea salt? Sea salt, dun-da-da, sea salt, okay? 89 cents on sale, about $1.20 over here in Canada. I don't know what's going on in the United States, but I use the Mediterranean sea salt. I'm Mediterranean, so I use that. You combine that with other sulfurs or phosphoruses, and to again help the body rid the glyphosates, as well as reintroduce minerals. Now, some of the minerals you must reintroduce back into the body is iodine and copper. You have to put those back in. A lot of you are deficient in these things. Selenium is a biggie. I was looking at selenium and research on selenium. We will do a video on that eventually. That one there, boy, I'll tell you, that mineral affects almost everything. That's almost as demanding as iodine for the body. And it removes cadmium and mercury out of the body, which, by the way, is falling down on you from the sky. See, bye-bye blue skies. Now, if you want to know more about bye-bye blue skies, go to the Facebook site and type in bye-bye blue skies and learn what's going on. And if you're still not sure, go down to the Arizona Skywatch and type in Arizona and see what's there and what's happening about chemtrails. See, this is coming down on you. This is causing also endocrine disrupting properties like titanium dioxide, causing, you know, testicular cancer for the male population. Aluminum, which causes breast cancer and ovarian cancer for the women, because aluminum acts as a metalloestrogen. We talked about this before as well. And what we're doing here is we're creating a field, basically, or a degaussing field, to shut down the nano programming. Because as long as the nanos are programmed and are continuing to run their program, they will keep on assembling in your body. So no matter what you do to it, it will keep on building until you shut it off. See, if you attack this thing with anything, rice, spooky, whatever, you may shut it down. After the third attempt, it will rebound back and create its own defense mechanism. This is a synthetic biology. The graphene in it, which is, by the way, a carbon. Okay? Graphene is 200 times stronger than diamond and steel. Okay? This is what's going on inside of you. But, so you think that graphene might be, you know, what are you going to do with graphene? Look how strong it is. It's not indestructible. It's weak. It has a weakness. The one thing about nanotechnology, its strength, its very strength is its very weakness. Because it's very small, and because it aggregates very densely and or agglomerates to materials, there's where its weakness lies. They found that when they fired a laser beam on graphene, it literally caused it to crack and splinter. Okay, it does have a weakness, and lots of weaknesses actually. It's strong. The reason why they went with carbon over silica, because carbon is stronger than silica. Okay, sugar is stronger than silica. Now, somebody say, well, how can that be? How can that be? Well, you know, diamond is a carbon. I did something the other day with that, just to give everybody a little FYI. I took a green laser beam, 500 or whatever it was, 5,000 NGs, whatever. Anyway, I fired a laser beam. I had to wear my red glasses on this thing because, boy, it got bright. On a Herkimer diamond, which are flawed diamonds. And after I got done firing the laser, it still glowed green. Like whoa, look at that. So it holds a charge. And it's just like the research is saying. And this is a rough diamond. So graphene is super conductive. As you can see here, boy, it looks like I know what I'm doing here.
I think you've done it before.
I've done it once or twice. I screwed up at the bottom a little bit, but it's okay. I'm not, you know, for demonstration purposes, this will do. And you know, so when you now, when we get to that point, it just gets to be, after a while, boy, I'll tell you, your wrists and your forearms, Dynamo Joe. And the Popeye arms. Big farms, little guys. No. Leave your spinach, also, you know. Some of you don't know who Popeye is. I know that too. It's, you know, I probably should mention it. Popeye used to be a cartoon character. You know, it was one of those PSYOP programs that they gave us when we were kids. You know, I found out, I realized that television was nothing more than a PSYOP program to condition you to believe or to become desensitized to the current status quo. How have you been watching the latest bunch of movies? You know, you've been watching things like The Avengers and Superman and Batman and all these things. This is the super soldier program that's going on. These are things that the military is working on and are in all likely do have. There's been some super soldiers that have come on YouTube. If you think I'm a little nuts on that one, what you need to do is to go and type in on YouTube, twins on the British motorway. Okay, that is what you call a genetically engineered human being. And if you there's a two-part to that. The second part talks about what happened to the women, one of the women anyway, that got released after she got hit by a car twice, smashed, and got up and walked away like nothing happened.
I haven't seen this.
You haven't seen that? No. Oh!
So that's the basic.
This is real. The British motorway had cameras on the British highway system, right? And the cars were moving about 112 clicks an hour, if not faster, you know. And these two gals decide they're going to get hit by a car. Bang, bang, both get hit. Knocked down, you know, stops traffic. Cops come, they think they've got a bloody mess that they got to pick up. And lo and behold, they're standing there smoking a cigarette.
Come on.
Not kidding you.
Oh.
But that ain't the
impressive part.
No. I mean, because you got to remember, a windshield, you can throw a sledgehammer against a windshield, it'll bounce off. So these two decide right there in front of the camera to do it again with the police on hand. Okay, one got hit by a truck. Legs are both broken, and she's trying to get up, and she's fighting with the police. The other one jumped in front of this red car. The windshield is smashed. The roof is smashed. This woman should have had her whole pelvic region smashed. She's laying there on the ground, knocked out. They're putting car. Then she starts coming around, and she stands up. I'm like, wait a minute, I know a little bit about physiology. That's an impossibility. Normal human being wouldn't be able to get up. No, you wouldn't even be able to even breathe. You'd be laying there in a coma. Call the 911, and the 911 is already there. And they're trying to keep these people calm. This gal gets up, knocks down, pops a 200-pound plus police officer, woman police officer, knocks her down. Boom. Actually, she just got done got hit by a high-velocity car. Even the truck driver that hit the other one, I mean, he was beside himself. He couldn't believe what happened, you know. And so then this woman has jumped over this banister, and she's running like she's on, you know, some kind of steroid. I mean, she's all over the place. And so this one cop is trying to calm her down. He says, I am the police. I am the police. He kept saying this over and over, so I don't know if that was a key word or whatever. But anyhow, took 6 guys to hold, after she got hit by a car twice, took 6 guys to hold her down. And it's not PCP. PCP will not do this, okay? So whatever you might think, you know about drugs will not do this. I don't give a shit if you're on the best steroids on the planet, you're not going to do this. You'd have to have muscles so thick, you have to have the hide of a rhinoceros to survive this. Anyway, that's your prototype. That's your prototype. So anyway, you should watch this.
That sounds alien to me.
You know what? It could be. I'm not putting anything past it. You know, whenever we did our show last night, and I'll tell you, we had so much static and interference, it sounded like a UFO was flying above the store. And everyone says, "You sound like you're in a wind tunnel." Ooh, that's all we kept hearing. And then a buzzing noise went on, zip, all over the place, and then we were shut down. And this has been going on.
Jeez.
So, yeah, well, apparently the concept of me talking about nanotechnology has become sore. Look at this. Like, man, they're talking about professional done something there. Look at that. Except for that first little bit there, which I'm kind of a little pissed off I did that, but I should have went over it, but I didn't. But look at that. Like I knew what I was doing here. Okay. See, and it's just a work in progress. You know, it's just take your time. You know, like I said, don't put, the only thing you want to be cooking on the stove is a tea, because if you boil down the water, you don't burn anything, so maybe get the stuff inside while smoking funny. So I've done this when I'm working on something and I've got something on the stove and it wound up, becomes an experiment.
One of your latest discoveries.
Yeah, oh man. Now let me talk to you about nano again. The interesting thing about nanoparticles.
Hold on, just before you.
Okay.
So these twins. So how does the video end?
They get arrested. Okay. One goes to the hospital. The one with the broken legs. Okay. Technically, she never walked again.
But she got up.
No, she didn't get up. No,
Okay.
they had to carry her away.
Oh.
30 days later, she walks out of the hospital. 30 days.
No.
She had so much extensive damage that should have taken a year and a half in therapy. Walked out. The other one, she got out and she was out and about. She met a guy in a bar. He took her to his place. Nothing sexual. It was just he was being, give her a room to spend the night or whatever. And she took a hammer and killed him. Then she was walking down the street with a hammer, with the blood coming from the hammer. And then she jumps off of a 30-foot highway thing.
This is all the same video.
That's another one.
This is the part. This is the second part. Okay.
So she breaks her ankle on that one. But other than that, nothing, So I don't know if she was designed to get caught or what, but yeah, we're dealing with tech today that we should, that's, you need to start watching your football or baseball or hockey or basketball or entertained by Days of Our Lives and soap operas and, going out to McDonald's and eating, shit anyway. You shouldn't be eating McDonald's.
We're watching videos of herbalists.
Yeah,
make magical buckets.
Yeah, magical buckets. Well, you should watch videos that are going to help you. Don't watch these dumbasses that want to sell you crap. Oh, we got the latest and greatest thing, blah blah blah. And don't listen to dumbasses who tell you that that something is something and it isn't. You are dealing with synthetic life today, and you are dealing in a world of alien technology, and you are dealing with a world that ain't what it appears to be. And I don't care what your religious beliefs are. I don't care what your ideological beliefs are. I don't care if you believe in a cosmic consciousness. I don't care if you believe in a universal consciousness. I don't care if you believe in Judaism. I don't care if you believe in Christianity. I don't care if you believe in Islam. I don't care if you believe in Hinduism. I don't care if you believe in Buddhism. You're getting all killed. Every one of you. I don't care if you believe in Allah, Jehovah, God, Jesus, Muhammad, Vishnu. This is killing everybody. Everybody across the planet. And you better get over whatever you think you know about some of the stupid stuff that you've been taught. Okay? Christians, I can speak to you on this behalf. You better get over this nonsense about the rapture. There ain't no rapture. That was a Jesuit teaching that was instituted into the Christianity to seduce you into a state of sleep, so you become inactive. The end of the world is. Everyone knows this. Everyone thinks that the end of the world is coming. The Muslims believe this. The Jews believe this. With the Judaic principles, the Christians believe this. The Revelations and whatnot. But nobody's interpreting these things accordingly. They're being interpreted based on some sort of Jesuit or Zionist indoctrination, and you need to wake up on this. The planet is not going to fix itself by you sitting there saying, oh, Jesus is going to come and take me away. One day that may be a reality. But again, I also read what Jesus said in Matthew. It says, he who endures to the end will be saved. It doesn't say about rapture. I don't mention even hearing him say the word. So anyway, get off your backsides on this. And there's no pre-trib, mid-trib, after-trib, and before-trib, and in the middle trib. Okay, we're here for the duration. And if you think I'm a little crazy, well, think about Noah. God said he was going to destroy the planet. Okay, what did he tell Noah to do? He said, build an ark. In other words, Noah had to get off his ass and do something. Okay, he wasn't just sitting there, oh, God's going to save me. It reminds me of a joke. It's a kind of a, well, it's not a bad joke. It kind of makes a point, what I'm saying. Joke goes like this. There was a flood that hit a certain area down in the States somewhere, in Europe, whatever. And the rainwaters came, and this guy was in front of his house, and so these people say, hey, hop on in, we'll save you, we'll get you out of here. He says, oh, no, man. He says, the Lord's going to save me. The Lord's going to save me. So the water started rising. So now the water's up to his steps. So this guy comes on with a boat. He says, man, hop on in. Hop on in. He says, man, getting flooded here. He says, oh, man, okay, that's okay, man. God's going to save me. The Lord's going to save me. So now the water's up to his roof. So this helicopter comes by. He says, hey, man, jump, grab the ladder. We'll save you. We'll take you. We'll get you out of here. He says, floods up to the roof of your house. He says, oh, no, it's okay, man. The Lord's going to save me. So the waters kept going up, and finally the guy drowned. So he stands before God, and again, this is a joke, so don't get all wrapped up on the religious shit. I'm trying to make a point here. Okay. Because again, some of you say, well, that's not biblical. I said, okay, fine, it's not biblical. But the point I'm trying to make here is really simple. This guy stands before God and says, God, he says, where were you? I says, why am I here? He says, and God says, I don't know. He says, I sent you a car, 2 boats, and a helicopter, and I can't still figure out how you got here. So, you know. So that's my point. You know, and the only way we're going to survive what's coming down the pipe is to get over this hate. Now the current status quo is to hate people from the Middle East because they're Islamic. Not everybody who's a Muslim wants to kill Christians. And I'm going to say this too. Leave Christians alone. Leave the people of the Judaic faith alone. Leave people of the Islamic faith alone. This is all being orchestrated so that you become divided. Everyone has the same concept here. You know, they want a family. They want to give their kids the best they can in this life. They don't really want any trouble. You know, most people want to buzz. You know, either drinking or whatever. You know, when I get in the cab, I always tell some of the people that are of the Islamic faith, I says, you know what the difference between Christians and Muslims are? The guy says, no, what? I says, Christians drink in public, Muslims don't. And he started laughing. Because, you know, if they drink in public, it's haram, you heathen, you know. So anyway, I'm making fun. Don't take it so serious. You know, I'm not trying to demean anybody's beliefs. Seriously, I'm not. You know, I'm trying to get a point here that we better start working together on this, and you better start cutting this bullshit out, because boy, we're heading for a war, a global war, and I'm going to tell you, like I said this in another video, this war is being geared toward Christians and Muslims. This is nothing else. Again, they're trying to reface Europe again. They're trying to reface the Middle East again. You know, you can't make any money in the Middle East because you can't lend money out. With interest. Banks don't like this. The Europeans, the majority of the homes are already bought and paid for, and you can't make any more money now because, you know, everything's being handed down from one generation to the next. So we can't get rid of that.
We got to destroy it and rebuild.
We got to destroy it and rebuild, and put people into more debt and more bondage and more slavery, and you know, keep them completely distracted with bullshit and fantasy, you know. So more psyop crap, you know. So again, I'm pointing this out because, again, I don't care what your faith is. Myself, personally, I don't really care. I don't care what you believe. I don't care if you believe in the native beliefs. I don't care if you believe in the Catholic beliefs. I don't care if you believe in the Christian beliefs, Protestant beliefs, the Judaic beliefs, Islamic beliefs, Hindu, Buddhist, whatever. You know, I really don't care. If you are ill and you are sick and you need help, I will help you. I have no problem with that. I'm not shutting anybody down. I don't care about your race, color, creed. I don't care about your gender. Could care less. You know, we are in a global war. Humanity is at war. And if anybody's going to tell you that it's the human race that should be blamed on all the problems of the planet, you tell them to take a long walk off a short dock, strap an anchor to your neck, and say, "Chuck you Farley" on the way down. The human race is not responsible for this. The human race has been led by bad leadership, financial leadership, political leadership, religious leadership that has been there to completely undermine the human race. You know, when you're hearing things going on in a circle or environment where things should not be happening, where good is evil and evil is vile, something's wrong. Okay? And you're not going to survive this, like this whole concept of vaccinations. Vaccinations are nothing more than injecting nanotechnology, turning human beings into furthering their de-evolution into synthetic life. You know, carbon nanoparticles feed and change everything. They're highly conductive. The graphene in the nanotechnology shields the technology from frequencies. Okay, it's a superconductor. It has not just graphene in it, but other components as well. Okay, as you can see here, look at that, eh? Like I knew what I was doing. Like I said, I screwed up a little bit here, but again, and as you can see, you don't see me getting all worked up saying, oh man, and whatever, okay? I'm pretty relaxed about it, okay? And so this is, and the reason why I'm saying this to you, because I don't want you getting all worked up. Try, like I said, you see how it's coming, okay? Again, that little bit there is not going to make or break anything. It's not going to distort the field that much to make a difference, to make it any significant difference, okay? So again, I'm going right to the top. Usually by the time we get to the top, we've got about between 85 and 90 wrappings, okay? So it doesn't have to be precise. I can even stop it right there if I wanted to, because you know your leg's only going to go in so far inside the bucket. I'll go up, I'll go to near the end of the tape, and then I'll show you what I do there. So again, as you can see, this is a time consumer.
I like that part of your technique is to hold it. You're holding the wire almost slightly off to the side,
Yeah.
while it's coming down, so that it almost like falls into place.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you're keeping the nice tight wind.
So, dun-da-da, look at that. Like I knew what I was doing. See that geoengineering? What is that? Geoengineering. And see, and you're being genetically engineered. You are being genetically engineered. This is why a lot of things are not working like they used to. This is why so many of you women have a yeast infection and you can't get rid of the damn thing. You know, how many of you having toe fungus? Oh, the fungus among us. You know, can't get rid of that either, right? That's because the nano compositions in your body are altering your defense mechanisms. They're altering your ability to fight off some of these infections. Okay, with the glyphosates, which strip down the body, and I've said this before, it's a three-way attack. Not just one. The first you get loaded inside with glyphosates. Then, now I'm going to stop it here, okay? Then you get hit with nano spray. Then you get turned down with frequencies. Okay, so we're going to put the tape here, okay? Put it there. And I'll probably go here, a couple places, because it will, like I said, it can come undone on you. And then you start, again, having a Mediterranean moment. I call it Mediterranean moment. So a little more. Okay. That's it. Look at that. Holds in place. Stand it up. There's your wire. Now, I'm going to, where can I put it? Here somewhere. Aha. Hiding on me. So you take your little handy-dandy whatever, cutter. So I'm going to go in there again about another 2 feet, 1.5 feet, whatever. I'm just going to snip it. Ding. Look at that. You just made the super duper pooper trooper bucket there. And it's heavy. It's about 8 pounds by the time it's all done.
Really, eh?
Yeah. I've shipped a couple of these things out and they're like, what? That much weight? Now, what we're going to do, next thing we're going to do, so we keep this thing from coming unglued. What I do anyway, because sometimes the coils will get loose from use. You take your Superman tape, stuff that'll stick it to anything except my magic knife. So then just, you know, go over it, get that a little bit out. Oh, look at that. Now you can stand that one up now. You got your tape on there. This is going to be a little bit of a problem here. And then just work it down, baby. Just work it down. Shake it, shake it, shake it. No.
You missed your calling.
I missed my calling.
Yeah.
I should have been a banker now. You make more money. The problem with bankers is they're killing the planet. That's the problem with bankers. All these wars, you know. And then they get people supporting, you know, things that they think are nice and good. Like, you know, they support the organics, which all the money goes toward making bombs and bullets, and they support halal, which also goes to bombs and bullets, and they support kosher, which also goes to bombs and bullets.
Well, the thing that I like now is on CBC I heard a couple months back some weapons manufacturer in Canada sold a bunch to Saudi Arabia, and I don't know if it was a spokesperson basically said, oh yeah, we have no concerns about where this is going and who it's being sold to, etc. And then recently was another thing on CBC about some group that's identified a shooter somewhere in Africa. I don't know if it was Syrian or which of the countries it was, and it was a Canadian rifle.
Yeah. Well, all these charitable organizations that we have here in Canada, United States, these born-again Masons that you're seeing on TV, they got the Bible and they wear white suits and they say Jesus and something and you store the money. All that money is going to drugs and guns. That's where it's all going. Okay. So a lot of the TV evangelicals that you're supporting today, and not just those Masons, the Masons in other religions too. They pretty well have infiltrated everything, or the Luciferians, whatever you want to call them. It's all that money that they're collecting is perpetrating war. The war on drugs. It's not a war on drugs, it's a war on you to get you hooked on these drugs. And if it's not the street drug, which is pretty bad, it's the pharmaceuticals. These pharmaceuticals today are using nano delivery. Look at that. Holy, see, we can talk and work at the same time here. Wow. Like I knew what I was doing. Now, see, now we take this part off here. Tapes. You remember we did that in the beginning? Look at that. I often said, if you're going to be charitable, why don't you be charitable to the people in your environment, in your society. Don't give money to someplace you don't even know where it's going. You don't even know what it's going for. What you're told and what it is two different things. All right. Now, this is the high-tech part here. We take
pliers,
with a cutter, you just pierce it just enough. Okay. Then give it a pull, and look at that. Like I knew what I was doing, and just give it a little bit of a twist. Look at that. Oh, bare wire. Naked wire. Look at that. No, it's not orgasmically organic. That's not organic. It's not carbon-based either. Okay, so we do the same thing to the other one. Just give it a little bit, and just sort of nod it till you feel the copper below, and then just bing. Look at that. Look at that. And so you say, well, you made that look easy. Yeah, well, I've had a lot of practice now.
I guess for some people that maybe don't use this type of tool every day, there's a bit of a edge on the inside of that.
Wire cutter will work. These type of tools. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to use an alligator clip. Okay. Now, you don't have to. Now, some of them, I send them out. Sometimes I leave them just the way they are, because we're going to clip the power supply. Where do you go? The power supply. You just clip it on there. But for demonstration purposes, I'm doing it here. You don't have to do this. Line it up. Okay. So you basically just slide it in. Flatten that part really hard, and then just see, look at that. Now you can solder it if you want to. That's up to you. I don't. I figure I don't need to really waste solder on something like this. And same thing.
I was thinking you can moret it.
Yeah. Anything. Yeah, you can use other things where you stick it in, you crimp it, you got the other plug. There's lots of ways of doing this. I'm just showing you the simplest way that I know how. So it's uncomplicated. So again, wherever you are, wherever you live, you can do this. Okay.
The basic idea is you got to make contact from one with the other.
Yeah, that's it. So you flatten it out really good, so it's already tight, and then just what I do is I take it and then just go this way with it, okay? And again, give it another tug at the end, and oh boy, like I knew what I was doing there. And then you take the magical tape. I'm going to use blue. You can use black, green, as long as it's an insulation tape. Doesn't matter what color it is. I like wearing blue. I'm a kind of a blue person here. Blue.
We didn't notice with all the surroundings.
Yeah, blue. I'm so blue. So just take it, you know, and insulate. So the wires, and also the tape will sort of reinforce the connection to the clip. So go down about, I don't know, a little way, about an inch or 2, 3, whatever, and then just come back up. And okay, I didn't bring a scissor, so I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. There we go, brute force. See, had my Wheaties this morning. Dun, da, da. Okay, so that's 1, 2. Oh boy, man, we're coming right along here. We got all political, we got all religious, we got all
nano.
All nano. Now, one thing me and Dave were talking earlier, I was going to mention something about, there's a biblical verse in the Bible, okay? And this will apply to everybody who has a belief system, okay? It doesn't matter what your belief system is. This reference in the Bible applies to everybody, okay? Because a lot of you will tell me that, you talk to people, and people, hey, these people are so effing stupid, they don't listen, blah, blah, blah. And I understand that. And I've said this to you before, when I talk to people, I don't expect a 180 at all. In fact, what I do expect is retaliation, because you got to remember, they've had lithium in the water, they've had fluoride in the water, they've had aspartame, had MSG, soy, aluminum from the sky, all causing all kinds of brain dead issues. But the verse goes, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities. I had an epiphany moment on that. The thing that I got out of that was, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. In other words, we're not fighting with each other. Shouldn't be fighting with people. But we're fighting with programs and principles. Powers and principalities. Programs. What powers the planet? Program. TV powers the planet. Radio powers the planet. Media powers the planet. That's a program. These are all PSYOP programs. Programs run the planet. And the programs run the principles that people believe or think is true. So what you're dealing with is a program, not a person. Okay? So again, I want to point that out to give you some kind of encouragement so that you're not thinking that you're fighting with the person. You're fighting with a program. Okay? Programs and principles. Principles are all the deceptions and lies, truisms and factoids that really have no bearing in reality. And programs which run these things, okay? And they're run through all kinds of ways. All right, so basically this is a power supply. I just cut off the knob. Just cut the knob off. Okay, so
power supply from a laptop.
Laptop, 5 amp. Okay. So basically you do the same thing like you did with the other one. Just basically, give it a little chew on there. Now if you got these other things that work better, and then just see if I can, nope, didn't work. See, I've done this 100 times, I still don't get it always. See, the wires beneath this one are a little bit thinner, so,
It might take a couple tries. I've actually cut wires off trying to do it like that.
Look at that, eh? Like we knew what we were doing. Now, if you want, you can use a knife, spread it, do the same thing. I mean, again, this is a little thinner, so just use a little less pressure. But same idea, just give it a little bit of a, bite there, here and there, and then just, look at that. Man, Dave, I'm getting good here. Okay, so then give it a little bit of a twist.
No retakes on this one.
Oh. Well, I got one more to go away.
You jinxed it.
Yeah. Dave jinxed me. Watch. Aha.
Did I?
No.
Oh.
I missed.
Just,
I missed. I'm trying to be gentle with this thing because it's so thin.
No, I did jinx it. Look at that.
I got it.
Everything else is first try now.
Yeah, that's okay. First don't succeed, try again, Now, same thing. See, you got the wires are bare wire. Okay, and again, it's not orgasmically organic. Same thing. Now, put one in.
I mean, at this point, you can really connect the alligator clips of the other one to the wires.
You could. You could. I mean, I do this for a reason. There's a reason to my madness. Because if the wires touch in any way, shape, or form, it's going to short out the power supply. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to show you one of the ways I do it to keep that from happening. So basically, same thing. I'm going to flat line this thing down there, okay, all over. Really hit it hard and flat. Make sure the contact is there. You know, same thing, and then I go over it again, just, you know, a little bit of a flattening here. So I don't want this to come loose on me when I'm, you know, after I get it all taped up. You know, then I start swearing again, and people say, what are you swearing at? I say, oh, no, I just like swearing. Things in this life just make me so, you know, excited.
You're a passionate person.
I'm a passionate person, there we go. Well, that's what I've been told, that's anyway, several occasions. Okay, so there's one. Okay, where's the, Now you can leave this thing on if you want, you don't have to. I don't usually leave them on, I just take them off because I have a reason to my method to my madness.
What is that thing?
It's just an insulator that they put on there.
Oh, I see.
So I'm just, you know, basically saying I don't need it. Aha, same thing. See, now we squeeze the blazes out of it. Now we make the connection better. And again, there's so many ways to do this. There, you know, I'm just being, you know, kind of a barbarian here with this. Some of you guys who are electricians are probably saying, God, this guy's crazy. He's, you know, this is just simple, bare, basic stuff. Okay, I'll give it a bit of a tug to make sure it's secure. I'll give this a little bit more of a bite. Aha! Now, what I do is I'll tape this into a T. Okay, see that? So they're like this. So and I'll show you what I mean by taping into a T. Because again, when I'm plugging this thing, I don't want the power supplies to come in contact. So I go like this. And start getting it going. Now you can start this any way you want. I just do it this way. You know, I gotta make that really firm and snug there. So as you can see, I'm taping it up so that the ends are that are on each. See how they're opposing each other? They're not come near each other. I'll show you what I mean. Look at that, eh? Like I knew what I was doing. This is nice and snug. And give it a couple wrappings because you want that a little bit firm, so they, you know, because the wire will bend. This thing will bend a little bit. Okay, look at that. And so then what you can do if you want, you can take it here and just take a little bit, take it down a bit. Okay, so then same thing, I'll take it. Now brute force, dun da da, there, done. And look at that. Now, the reason being, you did that. As you can see, if I clip the clip here, and I clip the other clip, you know, here, there's no way they're going to make contact. Okay? See, they're apart. If you lay them down, they're not going to make contact. Now, like I said, you could, if you could have connected more wire to it and made it further, up to you. But that's, again, simply done. And then, you know what I forgot is a magnet to show the coil. I have a magnet. Aha! I do have a magnet. I got one on me. Okay, so now we're plugged in.
Any concerns about electricity? You know, the fact that you have...
Don't put it in water.
Don't put it on a metal table.
Don't put it on... Well, no, this isn't for that. This is not going to...
This is low voltage.
Yeah, it's not going to do anything. But again, okay, you can see it's flickering. Now, I'll show you another method to that too, but this is basic. Now, I have a magnet on. And if you put the magnet against the coil, you'll feel it pulsating. That's how you know power is getting through. This is, you know,
It's from a hard drive.
Yeah, from any magnet. Any magnet will do. Even the lighter the magnet, the better, actually.
You'll feel it pulsing?
Oh yeah, you'll feel it here. You want to try it?
Sure.
Here. You just want to feel it.
Yeah, I want to feel your magnet.
Feel my magnet. Feel the pulse?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You feel the pulse. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so you know it's working. Now you can take a light magnet and hold it in your hand, and the magnet will actually wobble. Okay, it will wobble. So anyway, so now you know you're in the saddle. Now, some of you are gonna say, well, is this gonna burn out the power supply? Eventually, over time, but I have had one running for 4 months and it's still going. So again, I've not seen it burn out. Now, when you fill the solution up, I'm going to show you this too in a minute. Now, if you want to avoid the pulsing, I got to go get a cord. But if you want to avoid the pulsing, you can run a capacitor or a variable resistor between here and there, and that'll stop the pulsation and still give you a field. So.
We try to simplify it, and now you just complicate it.
Well, I'm just because there's always somebody that's going to say, "Well, isn't that going to cause a short?" It's not causing a short. As you can see, the power's still flickering, so there's no short. But if you're concerned about that, then again, run a capacitor or a variable resistor to the end, and then you create a steady field. This is creating a pulsating field. Either way, it will work. Okay, just to let you know. Now.
So you'd have to run, if you wanted to do that, you'd have to run one of those, like another copper line to one of those contacts, and then that copper line back to.
So basically, just
this. Yeah.
Okay, so we run. Okay. You gotta be careful. Now, if you use a capacitor, you must be careful with the capacitor because these things do hold a charge, and if you touch them, they will release. So okay, you've one run there, right? So. Then you have to run another wire from there to there.
Right.
Which I don't really have. Oh yeah, we can do it. Hold on. We can do it. Again, this is sort of going to be a rigging. So I don't have another alligator clip, but if I did, you can again do it with alligator clips. So basically, boom, cut a wire.
Do you want to turn it off in the meantime?
What? No, it's not gonna do anything. It's just we'll show everybody it's not dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
You know. We're going to be running live wires.
Well, I guess a point to mention is not to make sure that it's a low voltage DC adapter, not just
well, even if it's
a cut off piece of cord and they plug it into the AC, because then that's line power.
Right. You want DC, direct current, not AC. Okay. So AC doesn't work with us either. That's another one of those sabotage things. Okay. Now. For safety purposes, we are going to disconnect the power. Boom. Okay, let that die down a little bit. See, slowly, see it die down. Now, we're going to take this, just to show you the difference.
I want to feel your magnet again.
Well, it won't work that. Now, once direct field, it won't work. Won't
yeah, well, but now I'll see, there's no pulsing.
There's no pulsing.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I'll put that in there. This is so high-tech, it's high-tech.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, if I had an alligator clip, it would have been easier, but hey, now I'm going to take my knife and just use it as a screwdriver. That's what I like about knives. You can use them for so many things. That's snug. All right. So where's the other one? How'd it go? Ah, there it is. Then we run it to here. Boom. We're in business. See again? No contact. There's not going to be any contact. Okay. Now, ta-da! We plug it back in. Power's on. No pulse, but a steady field. Okay. Now, when you're again, this is a capacitor unit. Do not touch the ends because they will knock you on your ass, okay, or more. So this is, again, it's causing a resistance. So this is not pulsing now because this has got its own cutoff inside. So now you got a steady field here. So if you take a magnet, you know, you won't really feel it. There's no pulse. There's no boom, boom, boom going on.
Oh, jeez.
See, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a field. There is a field. So again, just so you know, now just to give you an idea why I'm saying do not touch the ends here. Okay, now let me show. shut this thing off again. I think it would have built up enough power. Let's see, where are we at here? Okay, let me disconnect. Or are we good here? How am I going to? Oh yeah, this is okay. If you still got, see, the power's coming from the capacitor,
Right, because it's
see?
charged. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you take this and discharge it, you touch the end. Where is the other end? Okay, if you go like that and touch, sometimes it sparks, but it didn't have enough time to build up, but it'll spark. I mean, it'll release. So again, be careful when you are playing with this. Now, for those of you who are intimidated by this,
Yeah,
okay, then don't do it. Just run it straight on. Okay? Just so you know. I just wanted to show you that. So even if you're running, okay, now this is a more modified version I'm working on. I'm just going to show you that too. But again, this is the bucket basically. You've got it, you made it, okay? There's your power supply, you're hooked up. You know, you're ready to rock and roll. Now all you do is pour in your see, there we go. Now we're pulsing again. If you put the magnet on, you'll feel like going boom, boom, like a heartbeat. Okay?
Yeah, that was cool.
So now you have an idea. So basically you would pour a little salt in, a little vinegar. Okay? We will do a little demonstration. I gotta go get vinegar, I forgot to bring that. We'll pour a little bit in there, and just to show you what happens, and you're going to put a little oil in there. Now when you do this, we've got if you go to independs.wix.com, okay, and then / Anti-nano setup pale, okay, what you'll see is the instructions there as well, a hard copy of the instructions. In there as well will be the warnings. In there as well will be the different methods and different solutions you could put in here. Okay, so again, go to independs.wix.com, okay, / Anti-nano setup pale. Okay, maybe Dave will put it up there.
I'll put it up, yeah.
Okay, and so, and then when you can, same thing, go to independs.wix.com / carbon-nano. You need to understand this technology, this morphology that's happening to everybody. This, like I stated before, is a three-way attack. Glyphosates, okay, which again strip the body. You're being loaded with chemtrails from above, which again the body will absorb because of the deficiencies going on, and the activation of these particles by frequencies. And now they're even saying they don't even need frequencies anymore. The latest research I've been finding on it, they can actually propel themselves just using chemistry, your chemistry. So again, I'm showing you this. I want you to be aware of this. I don't want you to be bamboozled. It's not a goo, it's not a mold, it's not a, these things are secondary. Because you have no copper, no selenium, no iodine, no zinc, no manganese, potassium, magnesium, calcium, sulfur, or phosphorus as a result of the stripping. What happens if you have no copper in your body? You're subjected to mold, you're subjected to all kinds of viruses, all kinds of different pathologies. Toe fungus, okay? You got a lot of people complaining getting fungus in the body because you're not getting these minerals that are producing superoxide dismutase, or producing enough chloride in the body, or producing enough oxygen in the body, because these components have been taken out. This will strip out a lot of particulates that you are exposed to. So anyway, we're going to take a break. We're going to get the stuff, put it together. And I'm just going to do a little mini demo. Oh, before I go on, real quick. Okay, this is the basic fundamental anti-nano bucket. Okay. So we made our bucket. Dun da da. This is a more modified version. This is the one I use. I've been evolving the bucket. So I take a bucket, plain bucket. Inside, I got a coil, an 80 or 90 winding wrap coil. Again, genetically engineered material. Okay, and what I did is I took this here and I wrapped it up with a 10 gauge. So I think I got about 40 wrappings here.
Sorry, you took what?
This side. Oh, sorry. This here.
Okay.
The inside, because there's two coils here. There's a 20 wrapping and a 40 wrapping coil. So I went 20, 40, 80. Okay?
Okay.
So I use basically a 10 gauge here, a 12, maybe 10 or 12, I forget. And this is a 20 gauge. So this is all pretty well the same. And again, same thing. I put them inside, one inside the other, and then I put this here inside where I put my solution. And I run these with to a capacitor. Okay, because I want the steady field with this one, and it seems to pull out more. I mean, it seems that there's more that comes out when I do it this way. Now, again, I'm still experimenting with this to again, make it better. You know, I'm always, and again, I encourage you to do the same thing, make it better. This I find is really effective. It's expensive, to trust me, to make this stuff. Like I said, in Canada, we are subjected to rape, financial rape. So again, but this is, again, you can modify this. In other words, make it better. Same principle. What I did first, I wrapped this up with 40 wrappings of a 10 gauge. It's a little smaller bucket. Then I took a 20 gauge, another wrappings of 20 on top of it, and I put a coil on the inside. And it seems to work better, you know.
But you're running all three off the same power supply?
Same power supply, yeah.
So like say you take one side of all three of those and you connect them together to that one cord off the power supply.
And then the other one to the capacitor.
Right, okay.
And then what happens is sometimes I'll touch the capacitor to create a pulse because it releases it all at one time, so you have a little bit stronger pulse. So again, I'm always playing with stuff with this. But again, I'm just showing you that what I'm showing you can be improved. Okay, and improve it, make it better. All right, so we're gonna go, and now I gotta go with the stuff, and we will demonstrate the power of the bucket.
Nice.
All right, so what I did is we got vinegar, white vinegar, cheap old white vinegar. Okay, if you can make it cheaper, get it cheaper. Cheap vinegar. Water, distilled water, or reverse osmosis. I usually add a little DMSO, and I also usually add a little phosphorus in mine. I usually put a little TSP, but for display purposes, I'm just going to show you basic. Again, on that site, on the independence.wix.com, you know, with the, what the heck did I say it was? With the Anti-nano setup pail, there will be different ways of doing it. Okay, so basically take some salt. About it.
I love your precision.
Well, it doesn't have to be precise.
I know that's...
And I'm trying to show this. People always ask me, everyone gets me that too. They says, well, how much? What do you mean how much? Just pour a little handful, throw it in there, you know. So then you got to give them tablespoons and teaspoons. Okay, so I probably put about 1/8 of a cup in there, just
for reference.
Yeah. So I don't get 29 YouTubes. How much? What the F did you do there? Because I get this all the time. What the F did you do?
Yeah.
Says, how much did you put? How the hell are you supposed to figure this stuff out? So anyway, okay. All right, so 1/8 of a cup.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now, DMSO. I usually go 1 or 2 caps. Caps. See this cap right there? So we pour a little bit there. Oh yeah. Dun-da-da. 1, 2. I'm in my laboratory. Now, vinegar. I need my magic knife for vinegar. Magic knife has to be used in vinegar because you're gonna pop open the seal. So just don't go too deep because there's acid. And I know we all like doing a little acid. Oh, we're into some acid, man. You know, it's the old 50s thing. My generation, you know, my generation has been targeted. My generation is dying. They're trying to exterminate my generation. You know, those of us born in the 50s. Basically, just pour it in. Give it
Pour the whole thing.
Yeah, pour the whole thing in. Ooh, bubble, bubble, toilet trouble. Look at that. Ooh. Hey, look, Elvis is coming up. No.
No, Tony, that's just the acid speaking.
Oh, it's the acid. Oh, I see, I'm getting a buzz off the acid. Wow. Hey, Elvis, you down there? No. All right. I'm putting water. What I normally do for this, again, I'm not gonna do the full thing. But usually I put 2 gallons of vinegar and 1 gallon of water. You can go 3 gallons of vinegar if you want. It's up to you. As you can see, everything's all dissolved. Now what I do, for those of you who are those of you who are the
problem child and gotta see everything. We'll put a teaspoon of oil, just a teaspoon. The reason why we're putting a little oil in there has nothing to do with what it's going to do to you, but what you're going to do is you're going to see, that's it, boom. Oh, look at that, oil. Okay, what you're going to see, I'm just going to stick my arm in there, that's it. I'm not sticking anything else in there, and we're not going to do any kind of nude stuff here either, because I know some of you are into that kind of stuff. You know, you guys always ask me to take it off, and I'm not doing it. The oil, when the stuff releases, when it releases, it will go to the oil. It'll agglomerate to the oil, or aggregate to the oil, and you'll see it. You'll see it doing this. Now, there's another method we can do too before we even do this, but before we do that, I'm going to hook it all back up again. I'm not going to run it to the capacitor. I'm going to run it right to the, again. Jesus, this thing doesn't want to cooperate with me. So we're going to go bite to bite. As you can see, I'm leaving the power on just to show you how safe it is, so you're not going to blow up. And I'm touching the wires here. Oh, yeah. See, nothing happened. Okay. So now we got it pulsing. Now, normally what I do is I have a flashlight. Flashlight. That's what this is. Now it's just a worthless flashlight. Oop. Flashlight, see? Aha. We stick my arm in there. Oh, look. So I might mix it up a bit because there's some salt there. Now just leave it be. And eventually, where you see the oil, see all the oil drops there? And we'll let that settle for a bit. And as that pulses, okay, you might even feel it pulse a little bit. You might. Again, usually I got my legs in here. Since I've got more muscle in the leg, more will come out. I don't know what's going to come out here today. We'll see. But again, eventually you'll start seeing this thing create a field, and it starts forming. And see, as you can see, metal is starting to show as well. But you'll see it as soon as it starts swirling. And now we just got to sort of wait. Now angle your lights even along the sides, you know. Still swirling a bit, but anyhow, that will stop eventually. And eventually we'll start seeing stuff coming out. And you see right there. Those are just droplets still. These are just droplets still, but you'll start seeing it coming about. So you can see it's drawing. See right there by my arm? Right there. It's starting to pull. See it?
This light looks blue.
Yeah. See how it's forming its own field? And I said we'll give it about 5 minutes, and you'll see once this stuff's all completely swirling, and you'll start seeing again. Oh, there we go. See the powdery material getting to the oil. It's hard to do this. See that film there? That's all metal dust.
Oh, like I can see it with my bare eye.
Yeah.
It's not really coming through on.
No? Crap.
Well, let me zoom in here and see if.
You're getting blue?
Yeah, because the white. The way that I set the color on the camera, it's making this white light look blue because the other ones are give off like an orange tone.
You can see over here on the side the film there forming, and the material's starting to catch in there. How the hell can we do this? There, see? It's swirling and connecting.
It's getting the bigger dots. It's not really getting the film. A little bit there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's starting to.
Right there.
It takes a good, to do this properly, it takes a good 45 minutes or more to do it. 30 minutes actually. 30 minutes to an hour. I sit there for an hour, and after an hour, with the oil that I put in there is loaded. I mean, you see it just loaded with speckles. And that's what's in your body. That's what's assembling inside of you. This is why you can hear different music. You'll be walking down the street, all of a sudden a musical piece will pop in your head, or a television show will pop in your head, or all of a sudden you're feeling an overwhelming amount of anxiety or angst or depression or agitation or aggression. Sexual thoughts, you know, will pop in your out of the blue. You know, you won't even be thinking about sex. Boom, it's there. Or violent activity will affect your head, or some kind of program, and it's being pumped into you from the towers outside, Wi-Fi's that you're exposed to, cell phones. They're all transmitting, and you are a receiver and a transmitter. Let's take a look at it now.
So one of the
See, look, there's
I can see the swirl.
Yeah, starting to come out.
Can someone try and make the argument that maybe that's just dead skin cells?
You can take it under, look it under. But see, if that was dead skin cells, you'd have to be rubbing that to get that off. It's just coming off on its own, and you can see in the film there, the layers of oil film. You see it's starting to pick up the metal. Okay, it's not. That's just not oil. The oil, you can see the oil globules there, and you see right beside the oil globules, you see the metals flakes that are floating. Okay, these are nano dust, so they will float. And again, they will connect and start connecting more and more. See if I can get there. See here? Look at the end there. Away from the oil.
I can see.
See, look at the metal there, the shine. You see, it's not showing up on that thing, eh?
Well, I can see some of the streams on the surface of the water. Yeah.
So, and like I said, the longer you let that sit, and again, usually when you got your feet in there, bottom of the feet is going to pull out more. It's the thinner skin. So more will come out there as well. Again, I'm just doing this as a demonstration. Again, when you do this, do it with your feet and your legs. And again, put in the 2 gallons of vinegar and 1 gallon of water, or 3 gallons, whatever, and put your legs in there and then sit there. Put a little oil, a teaspoon. Doesn't matter if it's almond oil, whatever oil. Okay, we put a little olive oil in there, which is a heavier oil, but we'll sit there and leave it sit for a bit. And like I said, see if Elvis comes out. Aliens, I have a UFO coming out of my skin. Yeah. You know, bloody aliens.
It's interesting that I'm coming close to this, and I can hear in the headset. There's a bit of a hum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See there, so you're picking up the field. See here. Yeah, it's collecting more here. Look at that. See the film there? Oh, you can't see with the camera. Crap. See, it's still moving there.
Well, it'll just be.
See?
Yeah, I can see it swirling a little bit.
That's all the field drawing. And on the bottom of your bucket, you may see pieces and particles, black dots. Okay, that'll be your quantum dots, your fullerenes, your polyfullerenes, your dendrimers. You may even see what appears to be a plastic-like material. That's the graphene that you're breaking down, or that has been broken down through constant use. The more you do this, now the first day or two that you do it, you may not see. You may see a lot, you may not, but the more you do it, the more will get released, because depending on how saturated you are and how many layers it's got to get into, it'll start drawing it out. And then if you do this with your feet and then take a bath afterwards with the saline bath that we suggest, more will come out, because the field that you're putting yourself through will again shut down almost everything throughout the body, because as the stuff circulates, it'll shut it down. And again, more keeps coming out. And again, you're so saturated, you have no idea how much. Yeah, look at it, it's starting to get more now. See there? That layer of stuff laying on the water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see it? It's forming patterns, literally. I'm trying to look for the bottoms, nothing has come out yet. Still some salt there, but look, that's all fleck, not oil. And like I said, even these bubbles there, the big bubbles will start to fill up with metal eventually. And we're still getting motion in the ocean there. Look at that. Okay, so let us sit, do whatever. But you get the general idea. Now, Minimize any carbon exposure. If you're going to eat vegetables, I'm suggesting very strongly now that you eat root vegetables, yucca, Edo, potatoes, sweet potato, wild yam, carrots, parsnips, beets, because they're below the surface of the earth, the dirt. They're still going to get nano on some level, but it'll be a lot different. And when you peel these things off, and you got to peel off about 1/8 of an inch off most of the stuff, you will minimize the exposure. Your apples, your pears, again, eat those, but you've got to take 1/8 of an inch off. Your kiwis are fine. Your citrus fruits are fine. Your pineapples, your papaya will be fine. The ones that have the hard fruits should be okay. The citrus should be okay. The cherries, when I looked at them under a scope, were saturated to the core. I wouldn't even encourage anybody drinking any berries. We'll be doing another video up the way where we'll show you how to take these fruits that are contaminated and to filter out the nano so that you can consume them. But for now, basically what you would do is you would take a cherry or a blueberry or whatever, you would juice it, take the juice, put it in a container, put in oil, again, any kind of oil, almond oil, peanut oil, shake it up or blend it up, and for about a minute, let it separate, pour out the content, the oil will go to the back, the oil would have collected the nano. Okay, that's the only thing that I've seen so far that will actually benefit and minimize the uptake. You're constantly being reloaded. You know, you're constantly being taking the stuff, and either you're drinking it from the water supply, you're drinking, unless you're using reverse osmosis or distilled water, which will reduce it but down to about 95%. So again, it's reduction, it's not completely taken out of the system. You know, avoid the broad, big, green leafy vegetables. And if you think I'm crazy, then you go get a 60x scope, and then you go across, and even your organics. Go into your, what's that one grocery store, I can't think of the grocery store chain, sells all organic crap, all the stuff.
What, Superstore?
Not Superstore. Superstore too, but I mean, it's all sold. Whole Foods.
Oh.
Go in your Whole Foods, or your Sprouts, or whatever you got in Canada. Go and take the scope and go look at all the orgasmically organic. Ooh, see, I'm getting orgasmically organic just because of my hands here. Oh, look.
I could see you getting excited.
Yeah, Elvis is coming out. No. And take a look. Take a 60x ocular. Take a look. Okay. You are getting saturated. There is no such thing as an organic. If anyone's telling you that, they're blowing smoke up your backside. Yeah, simple as that. You are being saturated with carbon nano poisoning from the sky. They've got 43 chemicals coming down. Like I said, you've got the aluminum, you've got the barium, you've got the titanium dioxide, you've got the solvents that they're using, you got mercury, you got nano silver. Nano silver. Do not use any product in the market today that is saying colloidal anything until you call the company up and validate that it's not nano. It's a misrepresentation. Nano and colloidal are two different animals. One is on a micron size, one is on a nano size, or billionth. And the nano technology on it today, and if you're not sure, go on my site. We've got 8 links on the directory of content on the augmentinforce.50webs.com. Read the information before you buy anything nano or a colloidal, and understand what this stuff does. Okay, 20 parts per million of a colloidal silver isn't going to do a whole lot for you. It's got to be above 70 ppm. Any doctor, any dumbass that's marketing a colloidal product and saying it's only at 10 part per million, or because it's a nano delivery method, is snowing you. End of story. They're basically sabotaging you because the stuff translocates. It doesn't come out of the body like they tell you. It can get caught up in the kidneys, the skeletal structure, the liver, the spleen, which filter the blood, the brain, the lungs. If you're smoking, again, same with the tattoos. The tattoos are now using a nano ink. Produces a black carbon. Again, gets into the bloodstream. And if you have a black ink tattoo, if you remove it through solvents or whatnot, you will spread the nanoparticles even more so in the body. Okay, leave the tattoos alone. This is another form of hijacking the body with nanotechnology. Okay, gets into the system, and again, it starts to cause irreparable damage to the DNA and the genetic code. Okay, let's take another look. Ooh. I think Look at that. Streaks now. This is just coming out of my hand. See the streaks? Wait, can you see them with the camera or no?
On the surface of the water,
yeah.
Yeah, but we've seen them for...
Okay, but
yeah.
It's showing more and more.
Oh, more and more streaks, yeah.
It's getting thicker and thicker. And again, this is just coming out of my hand. Like, if it's coming out of the feet and legs, it gets more. Look at that one. That's a beauty. Down there in the corner. Another streak. Ooh. Orgasmically organic. Ooh. And there's no organic in here either. So, like I said, again, and it's only been what? How long has it been running?
Maybe about, I'd say maybe 10 minutes.
Okay,
I don't know.
that's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Oh, my hand fell off. No.
Can this aggravate any sort of medical condition?
As far as I know, no.
No.
No. I mean, if you've got a heart condition or you got a pacemaker or something like that,
Yeah.
you might want to put, like I said, your one leg in, see how you feel. It shouldn't affect it. Okay, it shouldn't. Now, if it does, again, then don't do it. You know, yeah, let common sense prevail here. I know sometimes it's hard for some of you because you've been on drugs. Now,
and maybe, I mean, they might post a comment just to...
No, that's good. No, I'm just saying, if you have some kind of electrical device in your body because they're turning you into an android or whatever, you know, try it. Don't just jump in, you know, because again, it may cause a problem with the electrical circuitry. And if there's any kind of warning about being around a magnetic field with any devices that you may have installed in your body, then this is not for you. Okay, because it will create a field, and it'll shut down. Could shut down a field. So again, don't do it in that regard. You may have other options, and you may have to just use salts and things. But this is, again, something simple. Now, when we're done, we unplug it. First we unplug it. You can see, no power. And you can unplug it. See, my hands are still wet, so there's no danger, because again, see, I got them in a T. There's no... See, no chance of them making contact. Say something simple, something easy. Any of you can make this, any of you can do this. And that's your anti-nano bucket. So again, let me reiterate. Go to independs.wix.com. And you'll see illustrations there step by step, just in case the film is too fast. And type in independs.wix.com/anti-nano-setup-pale, or just type in pale and see if it'll pull it up for you. And again, I'm encouraging you to go do your homework on carbon nanoparticle invaders. You are being morphed, you are being mutated, you are being changed. You know, you're becoming less human by the day with this technology. It is indoctrinating itself right directly into your genetic code and DNA. So again, and this is one of the delivery methods that you're getting it in, okay? This is one of the delivery methods you're getting it. Bye Bye Blue Skies at Facebook, go check her out. Susan Marr, she's out there doing her thing, getting it out there, getting the information to you. And this is down at Arizona Skywatch, I believe. A group of people put out these flyers. They're doing this not to gain glory. They're doing this to get it out there so that you are understanding that this nanotechnology is raining down hard on you, and it's altering our stratosphere, it's altering our firmament on the ground, it's altering the animals. How many of you have animals that have tumors? How many have pets having tumors? Nano. Okay. A lot of the tumors are cutting out of humans have metallic buildup. Where did that come from? I'll let you think about that. All right.
Well, do you want to explain your shirt before?
Oh, my shirt. I went and did I guess a conference, and so they let me, they gave me a shirt because I was telling them about this nanotechnology, scaring the hell out of everybody. Anyway, geoengineering. See, look, what's it saying here? Genocide. I can't even read this thing here. Crimes against humanity, and that's what this is. We did not consent to have chemtrails. We did not consent to be genetically modified or genetically engineered. We did not consent to have our bodies mutilated and experimented and exploited with this technology. We did not consent for this. This, again, is what's going to happen. 50s generation, they're taking us out, and they basically dumb down the next generation because they're going after the third generation, the ones that we completely obliterated with any kind of common sense or knowledge. Okay, so be aware that this is all done by design. This is not some sort of, you know, conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy fact. It's going on all over the world. It's not just happening. I get people calling me from all places all over the place. You know, from the Middle East, from Australia, New Zealand, across Canada, across the U.S., across South America, the Caribbean. You guys with the suntan, do not buy the bullshit about Zika and this. Look up in the sky, and that's where it's raining down. They can drop biological agents from the sky with these chemtrails and saturate all those islands in the Caribbean. Don't you find that a little odd that these islands are hundreds of miles apart and you're all having the same thing? You guys might want to communicate with each other. And those of you with the suntan down there, you know, those of you with the suntan over there in Africa, you might want to pay attention to the sky. Look up in the sky. It's not a bird. Might not even be a plane. Could be a drone. It's not Superman, but it's a line in the sky. Pay attention. Pay real attention. Look at your plants. Look at your pets. Look at all around you. Look at your skin. Okay? You are being engineered. You are being mutated. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. All right. Is that it? We're good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Till the next segment, to your health. Now you're going to become anti-nano. See ya. All right. Forgot to mention, there was a guy in Windsor came to me, and he has an idea, an invention of his. And what this is a grounding, or basically stripping of high buildup of energy in the body. And what it is just basically a plug that he made. You can see that there's a, well, I'll take it out. Okay, basically it's just, you run directly into a plug. Okay, now, before you do that, you've got to test the plug with this device, which tells you if you got a direct ground. So we're going to test this device, see if we got a direct ground. Oh, no, we don't. Or do we? We in? Yeah, okay, we got a direct ground because both lights are on. So what you would do, it just tells you now that all we got to do, actually I'm going to leave it like that, or maybe I can't leave it like that, no.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You make two blank spots and then one.
You ground right to the thing.
Right.
It's a great idea. I've been using it, and I'll tell you, it's made a difference because it's basically discharging the buildup.
Right to the earth, yeah.
Right to the earth, and the nano doesn't have your extra energy to assemble. It minimizes that too. So basically, you just plug it in, and either put it on your finger. He's got one you wrap around your wrist. He's got one that he's got a ball, and that's it. That's all you do. So now any buildup I've got is going right to the earth. I even sleep with something like this on now. And I've got my little shielding, I've got my Faraday, and I got this going on as well. So, because we can't block all the frequencies even with the Faraday. You got so many things coming at us. So, and this, again, takes it away. So anyhow, he's got a web page up. He's going to have a web page up. And as soon as he does, I'll put it on my site because he was working on it. But I'll tell you where you can get a hold of him. I'll let Dave film it. www.georgechristoff.com. Now let Dave look at it. Okay. We will be carrying the products in the store as well here. He's going to carry them. And if you have any questions about this technology, contact George. Okay, George Christoph. You contact him. He is the expert on this. I mean, I know how it works, but he can give you better clarity. He may even show you how to build your own. Okay, you may buy the parts from him. You know, and help them out. But this is a great idea because a lot of you are suffering with a lot of pain in the back and muscles and kidneys and whatnot. And this, when you deplete the buildup, makes a big difference. Even with this nano stuff, it makes a big difference. It really does. So anyway, I figured I'd let you know about this so you're more than aware. Because I told him I would give him a plug, and because again I thought it was a great idea, and anybody who's innovative like this or has an idea or an invention that really does have substance, I'm all for encouraging, I'm all for supporting. Like I said, I'm always talking about supporting the local farmers, you know, and getting into a grow-op kind of thing and start networking. So again, I just want to present that real fast. And again, if you need to get a hold of him, George Christoph at www.georgechristoff.com. Okay? Alrighty. And again, to your health.